Great.
Okay, great. All right, well, let's dive in. So this is a webinar about microbiome and skin health. And of course, it's going to tie in our newly formulated product, the Multi-Vitamin and Retinol Serum that has probiotics in it, which are going to help balance the microbiome, which we'll get into later. So let's talk. What are we going to do in this webinar? We're going to define the microbiome. Next slide, Lauren. We're going to discuss how the microbiome affects skin health. We're going to discuss skin conditions and imbalanced microbiome, what that looks like. We're going to lightly discuss nutrition and skincare ingredients for a healthy microbiome. We're going to announce and discuss the newly revamped Multi-Vitamin Retinol Serum. We're going to discuss an at-home regimen also for the healthy microbiome. So we'll go to the next slide. So what is a microbiome? I mean, it's all over the news right now, right? All in our industry news, all in the content that we read about how to live vitally and be the best we can be at the ages that we are. Your microbiome, it plays a significant role in the health of your gut, but we're specifically talking about skin. And it's going to play a significant role in skin health. It influences various functions that protect the mechanisms of the skin, which is important because when the skin is not protected, that's when you get inflammation. That's when you get that redness. That's when you get different things that can happen, breakouts that make no sense, etc. So the microbiome specifically refers to the diverse community of microorganisms, which includes bacteria, it includes fungi and viruses. They all reside on our skin naturally and in a healthy way. It's when that gets kicked off to the left or to the right of the scale that we wind up having issues. Okay, next slide. So what are we talking about next? The microbiome and skin health. Specifically, let's talk about the barrier function. Then we're going to go into inflammation regulation, nutrient production, pH balance, and the immune system. Just to go through it, just to refresh, I feel like this is probably an area of study that we all are exposed to with what we do, how we help people and how we get their skin back to balance so we can treat it properly and then we can help them achieve the goals that they're looking to achieve. So let's talk about barrier function. A healthy microbiome, it helps to maintain the skin's barrier. It protects against environmental stressors and pathogens and allergens. And when the balance of that is disrupted, like I mentioned, it leads to a compromised barrier. And then we're more susceptible to irritations and infections, etc. And inflammation regulation in the microbiome, we're talking about influencing the inflammatory response on the skin. So what does that mean? Certain beneficial bacteria can help actually reduce inflammation. They promote healing. And while we're in an imbalance, which is also called dysbiosis, you might have seen that along the way, it leads to chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation can look like just in everyone's natural state, in the natural state of the skin, it's just red and irritated and pink, but it can also be linked to conditions like eczema and acne. So just to give you an idea of what inflammation could mean. Nutrient production, what can we say about that? Well, some of the skin microbiota, it produces essential nutrients and compounds, right? Such as vitamins that support healthy skin, fatty acids that support healthy skin. And these substances help keep the skin hydrated and they promote the cellular turnover in its natural rhythm, which is important, right? pH balance, the microbiome contributes to maintaining the skin's pH balance. And a balanced pH level is crucial for all skin health. So now as estheticians, when we do peels, when we do different things that strip the skin, we ask questions like, what's the pH of the product? Why do we need to know that? Because if we don't know that, and then we're treating the skin in an improper way, we're going to knock off that healthy microbiome, and that's going to cause problems later on. So we need to be in the know about these types of things. So it's crucial for skin health, a balanced pH. It supports the growth of the beneficial microbes on the skin, and it inhibits the harmful ones because it helps like a little defense kind of situation, which is all what we are always goaling for as estheticians. How do we maintain that balance in the various changes throughout the year with weather, throughout the month with hormones, if we're talking about female clients, etc. And then last, the immune system. The skin microbiome interacts with the immune system. It helps to recognize pathogens and respond to them. And a diverse microbiome also enhances a skin's immune defense, which makes it more resilient to infections, which is very important. So these are all kind of subcategories. There's more, but these are your main ones, subcategories of how to maintain a healthy microbiome and skin health. Next slide, please, Lauren. So maintaining a balanced microbiome can be supported through various means. So as we've already mentioned, we're going to touch on a healthy diet. We're definitely going to talk about proper skincare. For ourselves and for our clients, we're going to teach them to avoid excessive use of harsh products. If you're constantly stripping the skin, if you're someone who loves acids and you're constantly stripping the skin, that's not right. You need to rebuild up that outer cell layer and really support the microbiome to bring the skin to the best that it could be. So yes, we want to exfoliate, and yes, there's a time and a place for stripping the skin and disrupting that balance to work for us later on, but there's a delicate balance on how to execute that. So I just want to also let you know that we here at emerginC, we definitely pride ourselves in being a little obsessed, it's a lot really, with ingredients, and you will find nourishing botanicals, plant stem cells. The peptides are so powerful, an array of multivitamins, all in like the most bioavailable form throughout the 3 ranges of skincare that we have, which are our signature range, our scientific organics range, and the raw pharmaceuticals range. Okay, next slide. So changes in the microbiome, what can they do? They can significantly influence skin conditions such as acne. When we have a bacterial imbalance, acne is often associated with an overgrowth of certain bacteria, particularly P. acne. That's the common that we hear about, that we learn about. And when the balance of bacteria on the skin is disrupted due to factors like diet, stress, harsh skincare products, I'm going to put nature in there. Weather is another factor. It can lead to increased inflammation and clogged pores, which exacerbates acne. And you can see there in the slide, our model was using the regimen shown below. That's mainly our scientific organics range. It's that green glass packaging. And she was able to restore her microbiome and help along the condition of acne where it wasn't so inflamed. Next slide. So changes in the microbiome, they significantly influence the skin conditions by way of inflammatory responses. So you'll see on that slide, there's kind of like a highlight there, and it's showing a little bit of redness. What is that? That is dysbiosis, or an imbalance in the microbiome, and it triggers inflammatory responses in the skin. The inflammation can worsen, with acne lesions that lead to more redness and swelling. It can also lead to scarring and staining on the skin. So the best bet that we can do is to really pay attention to that inflammatory response, bring it down, and then be able to really treat what the client's goals might be. Okay, next slide. Changes in the microbiome, what can they do? They can significantly influence skin conditions such as also sebum production. So sebum, what's sebum? It's oil, right? So the skin microbiome can influence sebum production, and sometimes there's an increase in certain microbes that lead to higher sebum levels. So when we have that, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're breaking out just because we have more oil. However, it's more typical that that happens. We do want the skin to produce oil. Where there's oil, there's more of a youthful, hydrated skin, but we have to try to pay attention how to regulate that balance. And when we have an offset of the microbiome, sometimes there's an increase, a specific certain high increase of sebum, or sometimes a decrease, really. So you'll see there in the slide, that's the pore. It's showing you the layers of skin and how the oil comes out. Alrighty, next slide. Another change in the microbiome that can significantly influence skin conditions and result in is eczema. So what's eczema? It's definitely a weakened skin barrier, that's for sure. It actually has an immune system interaction with the eczema. So eczema, atopic dermatitis, What's atopic dermatitis? That's kind of what they call anything that they don't know what it is. It's just an itis. It's an inflammation of some sort. And they usually treat it with, if you're going medical, like a cortisone or a steroid, just to bring it all down, because the idea always is to bring everything back down to a natural microbiome level or a natural pH balance level, so then we can get the best performance out of the skin that we can. It's all linked to an overactive immune response. So the skin microbiome plays a role in educating the immune system. And when the microbiome is out of balance, like I was saying, the immune system reacts, and it reacts more aggressively. And that leads to a characteristic inflammation and itching, which could be an eczema, could be atopic dermatitis. So just to clue you in on that, that's another category in how a microbiome that is not balanced can show up on the skin. Okay, next slide. Before we continue, I just wanted to check in if anybody has any questions. You can certainly pop them in the chat, and or just chime in. Really, it's casual, so you can just unmute yourself and just ask. I don't mind if you interrupt, no problem. So let's talk a little bit about nutrition and skincare. So ingredients for a healthy microbiome. There are so many. This is a basic overview, but if you start to follow, if you're on social media and you start to follow some of these health coaches and things like that, that talk about foods you can eat for your microbiome of your skin, it's so wonderful, because you'll find, hands down, so many foods that you love, and you'll kind of know in the back of your mind what you can communicate to your clients as well as for yourself, right? Self-care is important, on what to eat to support your skin and the vitality of that as we go through the decades of life. So first, you want to eat a variety of foods. A diverse diet can lead to a diverse microbiome, right? So that's important. You're going to incorporate a large range of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, legumes. Kind of a no-brainer, but always good to hear it again. Fiber, though, I feel like sometimes we don't focus enough on fiber in our diets. High fiber foods like beans and lentils, oats and vegetables, they all feed the gut bacteria, but in the beneficial bacteria. So you want that. You want the foods that are going to support that, to strengthen the beneficial gut bacteria, including fermented foods, that's not something you've ever touched on. That's really important for the microbiome of your gut, which then eventually shows out on your skin, because it is all connected. Foods like yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi. If you like kimchi, that's delicious. Kombucha, which you'll find in our products in the scientific organics range, they all contain probiotics, and they're live bacteria, and that enhances gut health, which is really important, because of what I had just mentioned. What happens on the inside is going to show up on the outside, right? And what else are we going to do? We're going to limit sugar and processed foods, definitely. So what does that mean? You're going to try to stay away from those processed sugars best you can, because a frequent high sugar intake of processed foods negatively impacts the diversity of your gut microbiome. Focusing on fiber is definitely a better way to be, instead of focusing on sugar and processed foods. You're going to stay hydrated, drinking plenty of water. I always like to expand on the hydrated part by saying water's not the only way to get hydration. Electrolytes are really important. So you could drink a ton of water all day, but if none of that water has electrolytes in it, you're really not going on to a deeper level. So I try to incorporate in an electrolyte drink, 1 per day, along with all the other water, because it really helps your body accept in that hydration more. So an example of that could be as much of a pinch of Celtic sea salt in your water in the morning, or a kombucha drink in the afternoon that has the electrolytes in it as well. And that also has the fermented food. So that's kind of like a double whammy. There's also water that is infused with electrolytes that you can just buy from your supermarket. So maybe you want to try to incorporate that in, because that helps maintain the mucosal lining of the intestines, and it supports digestion. And then lastly, in this category, maybe considering a prebiotic. So I don't think that prebiotics have had their day yet. I think we're all about the probiotics, but prebiotics are important. Foods like garlic, onions, asparagus, bananas, these are all prebiotic rich foods. So what does that mean? It means they feed the good bacteria in your gut. So that would be something that you really want to incorporate in as well. Prebiotics, probiotics, limiting sugar, staying hydrated, focusing on fiber. It's a lot, but once you get into the habit of things, it winds up being so much easier. And once you find what you like, it's also easier. All right, let's go to the next slide. So what are some skincare ingredients for restoring microbiome health? So kombucha, as we just mentioned, that's in a few of our products as well. The kombucha cleanser is a crowd fave for sure, which is in the scientific organics range. Omega fatty acids, hyaluronic acid, alfalfa, hops, and neem extract, mimosa extract, multivitamins. So these are all ingredients that are here in our very new multivitamin and retinol serum. You'll see in the slide there that there's a picture of what it looked like before in the background. And then in the foreground, you have what it looks like now. It kind of has this really pretty like celery green color to it. All of our products are fragrance free. So you're not going to have a fragrance experience with our products because anything that you smell is just naturally occurring in the ingredients that we have. And then just as a refreshing reminder, I always like to bring up that this is not plastic. This is a CLA resin that will biodegrade, and we use the glass, in wherever possible across the ranges through our retail and professional products, because we want to make sure that we're staying planet positive. We also have the new lucidal liquid, which is found in the newly reformulated multivitamin. So that's our new ingredient, which I have to say, I'm really loving this product. I've been using it on my skin. And I think once you hit that 2-week mark of using anything new, you really get to kind of see how it's going to perform. Immediately certain things, but I really think after you use something regularly for 2 weeks, I've been using it now for way longer than that. And what I'm finding is that there's an elasticity improvement on my skin. I'm finding that there's like more pore constriction. I don't ever like to say closed pores and open pores because that's like not a thing. But I find that it's like more of a pore restriction, which is really nice because it just feels like tighter, like I said, an elasticity kind of response. And then just balance. I'm not finding any dry patches this winter, which is really nice. So it's also been a hero in that capacity as well. All right, next slide. So let's dive in a little bit deeper to the multivitamin and retinol serum. So this serum, as I just touched on, but didn't discuss how antioxidant rich it is. It's fantastic. You're going to get that balance. You're going to get the antioxidants. So it's going to be that like defense fighter for you, which is really great. It's a formula that features a concentrated retinol palmitate. It delivers a vitamin A, a B complex, C, E, vitamin F to the skin, and that all works with the alfalfa and hop extracts to provide the natural vitamin K. So vitamin K is something that is used a lot in products when we're trying to lessen, let's say, bruising and things like that. So my point of bringing that up is it's very healing for the skin. So you don't need a bruise to benefit from vitamin K, but what you will find is that it's a healing process. So when you have the people that come in with that affected microbiome where they're just always red, and just always kind of looking flushed, this is definitely an incredible assistant to help calm that and to bring that all back to the homeostasis of the microbiome that we're looking for. The serum's infused with a soothing herbal and green tea base, so it's nice and calming as well. It's going to reduce the redness because of that. It fights the signs of aging by tapping into the vitamin A and B and C and E complex, and nourish and strengthen the skin. Like I was saying, I just kind of feel like there's definitely an elasticity improvement by using this product. Okay, next slide. Here we go. What else can we talk about? The key ingredients. So we'll start with retinol. I mean, that is everywhere. I feel like we're all exposed to it. I like talking about it because you can always learn something new. Vitamin A and E derivative, that's where we get our retinol from. It's a cofactor, it's a key cofactor in the production of collagen. So the vitamin A and E derivative retinol helps to produce collagen. So that is so important for skins that are looking for that vital look, for skins that are looking for that healing and repair, that are also looking to improve the appearance of aging skin. It's going to also help regulate sebum, and it's going to gently balance blemished skin as well. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Just jump in. Okay, next slide. Okay, the lucidal liquid, what is that? I was so excited to learn about this. It's produced through an antimicrobial peptide. It's called lactobacillus. It's originally derived from the lactic acid bacteria. So lactic acid comes from milk. So what we're doing here, though, is we're adding in the kimchi. So you have the blend of the two that help to bring out this incredible new. You're going to be probably seeing this, across the industry coming out. This is a hero ingredient that's kind of making its way in. It's excellent. What's it excellent for? Hyperpigmentation. It's great for texture and tone. Great for the fine lines, sun damage, just imbalance in general on the skin, which is why this is a hero product for repairing the microbiome, and a compromised barrier, which when you have a compromised barrier, you have an offset microbiome. So that kind of all goes hand in hand. Next slide. How do probiotics and skincare work? So this is interesting, right? So I am, like I said, I work on clients, and right now I used to own my own spa for 24 years where we did sell emergenC. But right now, after I sold my spa last spring, I started working in a medical setting, in a med spa. It has a wellness edge to it. So we are selling emergenC there, and we're doing wonderfully with it. The nurse practitioner there and I have spoken at length about when you put something topically, is it as effective as if you've put something inside, right? So her brain is the medical brain. She wants to do IV infusions. She wants to give you, something to take orally or, to solve problems. That's kind of more her training, where I say, sometimes you can handle that stuff with food and not all this extra medicinal things that people latch onto. You handle that with food. And then if you have the proper skincare prescribed to you, you can actually, solve and reverse and help people get to their goals, with their skin. Of course, there's studies that lean to both. I think then we came up with an idea like, well, what about just like a balance? You get good skincare products, you take care of your insides, you take care of your outsides, and it's a win. And I resigned to that. I said, yeah, I'll go along with that. That works for me, because you do have to kind of check all the boxes. So your skin has a natural pH of 4.7. So that's what keeps it balanced. And that helps it stay strong, so it fights off bad bacteria, which is very important. Probiotics are microorganisms that can benefit from the host. So their job is to strengthen our skin and restore or maintain a good balance. So when we have a good balance, we're not, chronically breaking out. We're not chronically dealing with red patches. We're not chronically hydrating dry patches. But when we have a good balance, at times we may get a breakout. At times we may have a dry spot just because of external aggressors. That still is in the realm of normal. It's when it becomes more a chronic state that we intervene with a different kind of products to support the skin. Next slide. So why probiotics? What are they? Why are they? They're everywhere. What are the good ones? What are the bad ones? I mean, there's so many variables, right? Some are kept in the fridge, the ones that we take internally, some are kept on shelves, but overall, whether applied topically or taken internally, they restore acidic skin pH and balance acne-prone skin. So that's first off. When you have a balance internally or externally, these are things that you're going to benefit from. Promoting collagen production. We're going to improve the skin barrier function. We're going to reduce oxidative stress and UV damage. It is safe for all skin types, which is fantastic. You're not going to find any kind of reactive responses or negative responses. Allergens are really not that big of a thing with emergency. Like I said, I've been selling and working with it for 24 years. And twice there was a return in all of those years, and probably the thousands of products that I've sold for allergens. But I really think they were like, just returning because of some sort of regret of buying too many things or whatever, one of those things, but eventually they always came back to it because they knew it was great for their skin. It increases the hydration. It also is going to help fight irritants that cause redness and inflammation. Okay, next slide. So the new multivitamin and retinol serum has mimosa extract in it. It's also known as the skin tree. It has a lot of benefits for skincare. It helps to reduce the signs of aging, the appearance of pore size, and calm redness. So that's why I was experiencing that pore constriction, was due to the mimosa extract ingredient here in the product. A multivitamin blend that delivers nourishment also helps maintain healthy cell functions and improves the skin barrier. So now we're kind of getting repetitive, but you understand now these are all the things that we need to keep in check as the practitioner for our clients. We need to make sure that we're checking all these boxes for them when they have an affected microbiome, and also be able to help heal it with a product that can do that. Next slide. So the hops extract, this is another one. The Humulus lupulus. Say that 10 times as fast as you can. We'll just go with hops. Hops extract can be used as an antioxidant, which is fantastic. You want that. You want the skin to be able to process and to detoxify. And anti-inflammatory is also one of its hero effects that it has. And it reduces the appearance of hyperpigmentation, while simultaneously protecting the barrier of the skin. So now we keep having this theme, right? Hops is definitely a nice help with pigmentation, so that's good. You do have to, because of the vitamin A in this product, you do want to make sure that people are using proper skincare. I do like to instruct people to use this product depending on how serious help they might need with their microbiome, 1 to 2 times a day on clean skin. You can layer it with other serums as well within the emergency line, and I recommend doing it in order of viscosity. That is the best idea. So the thinnest to the thickest, and then moisturize on top. Okay, next slide. Alfalfa extract. So it helps reduce the appearance of fine lines. This is another one of the ingredients here in the new Multi-Vitamin Retinol Serum. And the fine lines and wrinkles are going to benefit from the alfalfa extract. It has like a retinol-like activity with it. So it helps to maintain moisturizing and the hydration on the skin while simultaneously calming inflammation. It evens out skin tone and texture, and it balances sebum production, which is important for those mild breakout skins that we encounter. Okay, next slide. Neem oil. So this is another one of our ingredients. So to the right, you see the plant and then the oil that it becomes. It's really another super food ingredient that nature provides us that just is so effective for us. It gives our multivitamin retinol serum that beautiful green hue, that like celery color. I love it. It's so gorgeous to look at. So it'll look really pretty on your shelf. Extracted from the seeds of the neem tree. It's a potent ingredient. It fights blemishes. It calms redness. It moisturizes on a deeper level, which is really nice. And it's going to detoxify the skin, which is going to ultimately give you a clearer and a brighter skin. Next slide. So what is a good skincare regimen for a healthy microbiome? There are variables to this depending on the skin that you're treating. This is an overall general recommendation. Can you play with this? Of course. But again, this is your basis. So to cleanse, the kombucha cleanser is an excellent choice to remove makeup. It doesn't strip the skin. It takes off eye makeup. It also is going to help to not totally strip the skin and kick that pH left or right of center. and keep it kind of balanced. So the kombucha is definitely the best choice when you're trying to restore someone's microbiome and heal the skin. Then for exfoliating, sometimes that can be tricky when someone's skin is inflamed and irritated. We recommended here our red berry dual mask and gommage. So if you haven't used it, I'll just give you a quick synopsis. It has like a volcanic rock pumice in there. So, you know, depending on the skin and how irritated it is or how much you have to heal and calm on it, you know, you would instruct them to use it for a short amount of time, to a medium amount of time, to the full amount of time, and then leave it on as a mask. So the actual method of exfoliating at first might bring up just redness, but do that for a short amount of time and then leave it on as a mask and have the skin get the masking treatment from this amazing product. And then you're going to get what you want out of it for those types of skins. But for skins that are only slightly inflamed, you have them exfoliate for a normal amount of time, and then you leave on the gommage. The product as a mask. And then the correct, so you rinse that off, towel dry, and then you're going to use the new Multi-Vitamin Retinol Serum as your recommendation from now on. It is fantastic. Like I said, you can use it AM and PM, but if you were to choose one, choose the PM and do something more peptide restorative in the morning for a skin that maybe isn't as committed to SPF. Then you don't want to instruct them to use it in the morning, but you definitely want them using it at night. And then for moisturizing, and just so you know, a thin layer is all you need. This product lasts. You just need one pump. You instruct them to move it throughout their fingertips, put it everywhere, and then spread. And you'll even have enough to go down the neck. Then you're going to finish with your favorite emergency moisturizer, of course, whether it's the Hypervitalizer, the raw facial oil, the earth cream, you know, depending on what the skin really calls for. If you find the skin needs more hydration, I tend to lean more Hypervitalizer and like phytocell cream from the Scientific Organics. If I find a skin has like a mild breakout kind of personality to it and needs more balancing, and still has a call for hydration, but that's not the main call, then I go earth cream or I go raw facial oil. They're all just fantastic moisturizers. And then we do have Blend from Rawceuticals, which is more of like a balm, and you have to warm it up in your fingers and then apply it. That to me is really fantastic as like an occlusion. So like that's really nice, I think, at night because you can put it on a little thicker and then just go to bed. And then of course we do have our Hydra Repair Caps as well. They're not on this slide, but they're little capsules that have ceramides in there, and you just pop it open. You put it on top of the multivitamin retinol with the probiotic serum, and then you put that on top and then instruct the client to go to bed. They wake up supple, so soft, so glowy, so balanced. It's really nice, very healing. Okay, next slide. So this is the most fun part of this like presentation for me, because I have been doing the Microbiome Restorative Facial now for weeks on clients, and I cannot tell you how in love with this facial I am. Actually, I can tell you, and I'm going to tell you now. So the Microbiome Restorative Facial, it's a 60-minute facial. Of course, you can play with that time. If you're a spa that only does a 50-minute facial, then you do it in 50 minutes. If you're someone who wants to make it 75 minutes and include a second mask or include a red light therapy or something like that, we can work that in, and I'm happy to help you figure out that protocol. But it's what you're going to choose this facial, you're going to choose for people who need the balancing, need the restoration. You could still include your extractions in this facial, which of course, because this will help balance that all too once you clean out and oxygenate the skin. It's going to renew and restore the skin's natural barrier. It's completely powered by plant-derived retinol, organic probiotics, antioxidants. So ultimately, the facial is going to provide a brightening, a glowing benefit, nourishing, calming, and it's especially good for breakout prone and sensitive skin that is in like a chronic reaction. It's fantastic. The key facial goal of the people that you choose this for, they say that they want to maybe be more luminous, that they want to restore balance, that they're tired of waking up every single morning with a different thing happening on their skin. To balance the skin's natural biome, the key emergency ingredients that we use are kombucha, probiotics, botanical oils, and minerals. And the facial highlights, it's perfect for all skin types. The protocol highlights all 3 ranges, and it concludes with new serum and a facial oil application. I have yet to say anything constructive that needs to be corrected in the restorative facial. I helped put the finishing touches on the protocol, and I also have been performing it, and it is perfect the way that it is. The skin reacts, the skin, like the final product that you see. And again, I've done it on ages that range from teen all the way up to postmenopausal. And it has just been a fantastic result-driven facial. And this has already sold out a few times. So I highly recommend bringing it in for something new. And also this time of year is perfect for it, because if you have people that are skiing or snowboarding, it's fantastic for that. It helps to calm, and it really helps to restore. If you have people that like to work out outside, they're also going to get the same thing because it's cold out there with the wind and things like that. This is restorative for that when used on the regular. Using it in the facial, it's fantastic for the skins that come in and you just see red, it really helps to calm it. But it's also fantastic for skins that are balanced and doing well, because it's going to help to strengthen that, and it's going to help to maintain that. So keep that in mind as well. I'm happy to send you the protocol. So you can just drop your email in the chat, or you can email me, Daniela, with 1 L, Daniela at emerginC.com, and I'd be happy to send you the protocol for the facial so you could take a look at it. Next slide. I think it's the last one. Yes. As you already know, or if you don't know, emergenC is located in Brooklyn. We are in Industry City. It's a really cool part of Brooklyn, and we do have an urban farm at our warehouse, our building. On the top, we have chickens, and when the season is appropriate, there are, flowers in bloom. There are fruit trees. There are vegetables in the vegetable garden, herbs in the herb garden. It's actually really, really a beautiful place. So if you're ever in Brooklyn or want to take a visit, we'd be happy to have you come in. So also just drop that in the chat if that's the case too. We can set up a date to give you a tour. Does anybody have any questions? Any comments? Has anyone been using this already?
Looks like there's some comments in the chat, Daniela, some emails.
This side. Oh, good.
I've been using it.
Okay, well, we covered the lucidal, right? I see that.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Sorry, I wasn't watching that while I was chit-chatting and teaching the webinar. Okay, great. So
I have a comment. This is Carly from Massage Heights. I just wanted to mention that I just love the Glow Guard moisturizer. It's amazing.
Thank you.
I love the Glow Guard too. Let's talk about it for a second. Blue light blocker, really nice lightweight moisturizer. Can easily go over the multivitamin serum retinol. Fantastic to use together for sure, because it also has that aloe base and the green and white teas in there that are going to help kind of calm. Good. I'm so happy. Do you use it yourself, Carly, or is that more for your clients?
Both. I use it myself, and I always refer that one the most, nice. Even over the dermatological ones. Yep.
Like that. That sounds great. Thank you. Anybody else? So this was recorded. If anybody would like it sent to them, we can also do that, and you can share it with your team, your coworkers, your friends. Natalie just posted in the chat, now that I have it open, that she's going to send everybody the protocol following the webinar. And again, if you have any questions about purchasing, those questions all go to Natalie. So that'll be nice that you guys will have your contacts set up together. All right, well, we thank you so very much for spending this time with us here at emergenC. We always love to see everybody. We will be at the Javits Center for the IUCSC in March, and we will also be at iSpa, Javits, New York City, and we'll also be at iSpa in Colorado next month as well. If anyone's going to be there, please stop by and say hi to us. We always love seeing friendly faces. All right, take care, everyone.
Bye.
Oh, wait, I have a question. Oh, never mind.
Is this Iris?
Oh, hi. Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Sorry. I was trying to get in. I couldn't get, hi.
Okay.
I'm
Hi.
driving, so I can't really like text or anything, or look at any of the protocols, but I just was kind of curious, just like briefly what the protocols, like.
You're cutting out a little bit. You want me just to kind of like review verbally what the protocol entails?
Yeah, just
So you cut out, but I'm going to assume that's, yeah. Okay. So it's a tip. It's really nothing too outside of what your typical protocol looks like. So you're going to cleanse with the kombucha cleanser, or favorite emergency cleanser of choice. I'm leaning kombucha because we are trying to, in this facial, repair, and the kombucha is really nice for that. You're going to use, you're going to cleanse, and then you're going to do a toning application while you're analyzing the skin. You're going to see what it is that you have to do. You're going to go into your extractions after you steam or warm towel. It's up to you. Steam isn't always the best idea for a skin that is, chronically red at rest, or pink. So you decide, what that looks like. The fast extract 1 and 2 are our disincrustation fluids, and that really helps to loosen up the sebum. And any kind of maybe impurities on the skin that you can remove. When you remove all that, what I like to talk about is how it oxygenates the skin. Once you take out all of that stagnant kind of energy and all those plugged up pores, it really helps everything breathe and get like a cyclical kind of energy going through the skin. So it really oxygenates it, which is nice. You're gonna go into, you're gonna massage. And then you're also going to use a mask, and the earth mask is the mask that we prefer that you use for this facial. It is a pro-only product, but it's fantastic. It helps to kind of calm everything. There's some kaolin in there, so it really helps to absorb any of the excess oils or things like that on the skin, and helps to kind of like balance. And then you're just going to go into putting on your eye care, your serum, the eye care, and then the raw facial oil. I did that by memory, so I think that's everything. But it's a typical sequence.
Okay.
Just with the specific ingredients that you'll see on the protocol when Natalie sends it to you. And I see it's, just to make sure you typed it in right, it's iris.mermade@gmail.
I have Iris's email. She's one of our beautiful Hawaii accounts.
Fabulous. Okay, great.
Hi, Iris.
I think she probably cut out, but that's okay. So maybe she'll see it on the replay, or maybe she heard us.
Yeah.
And she'll get the email. Anybody else? Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so very much again for spending the time with us. We really appreciate it. We will send out, Natalie will send you out the protocol. And if you're at either of those shows that I mentioned, iSpa or the New York City show coming up, we will be there. Come and say hi.
Thank you, Daniela.
So much.
Bye.
Bye.